As spawning in the top right hand corner of torches, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself, the South Korean Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is SHIN. We go, and ByuN doing ByuN things, opening up with what looks to be 2x Reaper. Okay, so we have the low ground set up here out of ByuN. Meanwhile, SHIN opening up with a pool first opener. Okay, so we're mixing things up already here. This is why I appreciate SHIN, I mean ByuN as well. They're both very unique, very stylistic players, not necessarily the most standard or meta players out there. So SHIN, earlier pool. I mean, welcome one and all to to Torches. Torches is a very cheesy map in the map pool. Hyper aggression is favored here. SHIN, he does not mine through the mineral patches. He does not rush into the center goal base. That's more common against Protoss. Here, SHIN does open up pool into hatchery, and we're going for a gasless opener. Okay, bold move here by SHIN as he's mining through, and he is expanding towards ByuN. So these gasless openers are viable on maps like Torches. Why is that? When you open up gasless like this, link speed is heavily delayed. So typically you'd be vulnerable against Hellion run-bys and Hellion dives. But that won't be the case here because there's a ramp coming into the natural. You can easily wall up and wall off and secure yourself on 3 bases against Hellion aggression. Now, on one hand, that is true. On the other hand, it's 2x Reaper. So ByuN, he's going to have Mass Reaper early on, but specifically on this map is less maneuverable here. Like, there's no way to get into the main base unless you go through the natural. So Reaper cliffs are quite limited on this map, so it's a little bit surprising to see ByuN go 2x Reaper on Torches. There's that third base. And again, the reason why you can afford a fast third is because gasless, right? There's no gas. No gas, no money being wasted on gas, no drones wasting their time mining gas either. Reaper does move in and does confirm the build. Yeah, he does confirm. Does see the timing of the hatchery, does confirm that it is later. He also saw, he has yet to confirm the missing patches. As SHIN is waiting for the Reaper. Reapers do poke in. SHIN is building up his queens. And this is denying mining at the natural, true. It is denying some mining. Third Reaper has arrived. With the third Reaper arriving, Lings, they do try to hit the natural. I thought there was going to be Marine. No Marine to defend. Nice moves here by SHIN. And it's just so far away here to pull the boys to repair. Deeper taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage, but the repairs, it looks like it might just be in time. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, ooh, barely in time. Whew. And ByuN holds. Yeah, ByuN holds. He races back home to defend. And with that, SHIN now gets away with saturating. He gets away with his gasless opener. And as we mentioned, the strength of this build, I say the strength, maps that you're able to get away with this on are maps like this, where you can't harass this third base. Like, how does ByuN get here? He doesn't without mining through his own patches, which takes time. It takes time to open up this area, it takes time to knock down these rocks, so this base is safe against Hellion harass and Hellion run-bys. Likewise, Queens, they have to focus their defenses here, and we are walling up the ramp. So we're walling up, we're walling off. We're also skipping link speed, going straight into roach production. Now from here, we can turn this into a roach all-in. It would make sense on Torches because of the short rush distance by ground. Otherwise, SHIN could play this out into Hive Tech, into Ultra Tech. So roaches into ultras is what SHIN is known for. So we'll see if he does drone up further than 3 bases. If he drones up further, if he gets Evo Chambers and Infestation Pit, it does scream ultras. Otherwise, this can be a roach all-in. From the side of ByuN, he's going for a 2-on-1. Ooh, yeah, straight up 2-1-1 here. No third command center. This is hyper aggression here from ByuN. Rushing into Stim, rushing into his factory and starport. Very late third base, and this is putting a lot of pressure on ByuN to get some damage done. Okay, now what is really nice about this build that ByuN is doing, this is something that both ByuN, Maru, and some of the other Korean Terrans like to mix in after a 2x Reaper, is this is not a standard 2-on-1. do you see something? 2-on-1s, they never have Banshees. Why do they never have Banshees? Because if you're going for a stim timing, you need medevacs, right? You need medevacs, you need drop play. So it is very common. I get scouted. Never mind. But it's very common for Zerg players to blindly skip spores against 2-on-1s because there should be medevacs, not Banshees. Here, ByuN, he delays his medevac production in favor of a singular Banshee. This is designed to catch the Zerg player off guard, but SHIN scouted. SHIN scouted, he saw the move out with the Ling, his queens are in position, the spores are finishing up. We have a spore here on the way in the main, spore in the natural. These are late spores, but they're late because he never expected Banshees until he saw them. So the Banshee play, it was cheeky, has potential, didn't get away with it. Didn't quite get away with it. As now the medevacs have arrived, now ByuN can move out. Likewise, SHIN, he is getting a second Evo chamber. This should be plus on melee. Basically, the upgrade of choice here for the second Evo chamber will tell us how he wants to play this out. If it's ranged, then he's going to commit into Roach Ravager. If it's melee, then it's going to be Ultras. Invitation is on the way, it's already looking like Ultra Tech. Meanwhile, here comes the main army. Banshee does poke in. Main army from the front. No Ravagers to defend. Ooh, that's going to be a little bit awkward to deal with the tank at least. Going for range, not melee. Okay. He's going to be committing harder here to Roach Ravager, which means we could see supportive Infestors. We should see supportive Infestors. So we'll keep an eye on the Hive Tech timing. We'll keep an eye on the Infestors. Bane the nest, so it's going to be Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Ling speed is on the way as well, so we're gearing up towards Ling Bane, and then we're going into delayed Ultras, if the game goes that long. As Marines, they just stim in. A good chunk of Roaches go down. Oh my god! Yeah, so many Roaches do fall. Jesus. That's how many? There was 13 Roaches going down. A very efficient trades here from ByuN. Thankfully, Ravagers did morph in time. Banelings is still on the horizon. Still getting there. ByuN is still rallying forward. Oh. And again, this is going to be a tough hold here. We pull the boys, let's go! If you remember, I spoke earlier how this was hyper-aggressive because there was no third TC. It's just a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in, pulls the boys. Gets on top of the Ravagers. At least tries to. The boys, though, they're on top of the tanks. The drones. Yeah, the drones are pulled, but the Marines, they stim in. They stim in, they break the expansion. The base goes down. ByuN is here to end the game. Both players, they both lose their mineral lines. They both lose their workers. And the pressure's on ByuN to keep going. Oh. Yeah, Sims in. Sims in, takes down 2 more Roaches, takes down the Ravagers as well. 3 Ravagers go down, there's 1 Ravager left. Without Biles, how do you get on top of the tank? He's trying. He is trying, but he only has the 1 Bile. SHIN massing on more Lings. The longer this goes on, the better it is for SHIN. He's got his 1-1 upgrades. And he's trying to force friendly fire. Nice target firing out of ByuN. Yeah, the base goes down. There's 1 tank left. And SHIN, he is building up quite an army here. He's got more Ravagers on the way. Building up his Ravagers, building up more Lings. SHIN, can he survive? Oof. The Marines getting one of the tanks. Very nice snipe. 1 tank goes down. There's 1 tank left. Again, that's the backbone of ByuN's army. Bit of friendly fire. That's a bit of friendly fire there on the ramp. What a mass party. Just the 1 tank. ByuN, he still just cannot push through. This is where we just pull the boys for a second time. But remember, behind this, he still hasn't expanded. Like, he's still very all in. And nice Biles. He gets one. Gets another tank. Ooh, Biles the Medivacs as well. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Medivac's fallen. With that, he's held. Yeah, SHIN, he has held. Takes down the final tank. Ooh. As he missed the final Bile, actually. Yeah, did miss the Bile, but regardless, he does break through. Breaks the main army. Behind this, SHIN, he's mining on 3 bases. And the all-in has failed. ByuN is trying to race back. Plus on range was the safe call to make, just because it was so Roach Ravager heavy, and he never really got to actually make use of the Infestor, the Infestation Pit, the Hive. Thankfully, of course, as he had to just spend everything on surviving against the all-in. Getting to melee upgrades would have been in preparation for a longer game, which we didn't get. Get spotted. Yeah, it's 2 Ravagers. Nice split target firing out of ByuN. And from here, ByuN, he's, I mean, at this point, it's too late, right? It's too late to expand, so he just throws down extra Vaxes. He's still just doubling down. The longer this goes on, the better it is for SHIN, to the point where now we have safety infestors with fungals on the way. Yeah, it's looking bleak here for ByuN. He can float over his main, of course, true. He can float over his main to keep this going. The armor supply is still in favor of ByuN, also true. As SHIN supply is inflated. But infestors will help with that. Here comes the second wave, but we pull the boys for the second. Let's go. The boys are being pulled for a second time. Let's go. Oh, no, sorry. We're actually long distance mining. We're going for the gold. Okay. Going for the gold. Fungal connects. We're floating over to the gold base. Let's go. The fungals are brutal, though. Yeah, brutal fungals. Biles. Oh, they graze the army. ByuN can keep this going with the gold, true. This is bleeding out so much. He's bleeding out a little bit too much here. Oh. Still waiting for another fungal. The infestors need a little bit more time. Oh no! Get out of here! Infestors pull away. They land one more fungal. And nice connection out of SHIN. SHIN, he needs that link support. He can't really close the distance, not yet. Being careful, playing safe. That's an awkward rotation here for SHIN. Tries to rotate over. He's being spread a little bit thin. Yeah, and he establishes the gold. Like, he's again, his armor supply is still very comparable to that of SHIN. SHIN trying to open up an attack path. Ooh, bit of friendly fire. He defends back at home. Let's tank. The Hive is now done. Viper's now on the way. With the help of Vipers, then he can finally start to engage. Blinding Cloud's going to be huge. Almost there. And again, it's impressive that ByuN has been able to stay on 2 bases for the past 15 minutes, but the gold is a big part of that, of course. Big part of that. And ByuN, he can then float over his natural. Like, his natural's about to mine out, he can float it over here behind the gold. Take another base. So we can just kind of keep floating, to be But the reality is that the quality of the army is going to be better for SHIN once the Vipers arrive. Just has to get into those Vipers. Nice time for the expansion. Hatchery goes down. Does get the base. So here we go. SHIN's moving in. There are no ghosts or no EMPs, so blinding clouds on all the tanks. Covering tanks, covering the ramps as well. Going for the mineral line, and he does get in. Oof. They're getting 10 SCVs. Tanks are falling. And SHIN just has to play it slow like this. Just poke in, take a better trade. No fungals, unfortunately. Oh! As Bowser rained down on the army. ByuN is trading very efficiently here. And it is by, but here we go. The flanking fungals. GG gets called, and SHIN, he takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. SHIN does take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense game here. Winding it back up, ByuN, he went for a 2-ranked Reaper opener. SHIN, he went for a gasless opener instead. Very greedy. ByuN, he did, once he scouted, ByuN, he did decide to try to go for the all-in and try to punish the greed of SHIN. And SHIN, he was teching, but thankfully he wasn't overly greedy, right? He wasn't rushing into the Hive. He had the infestation, wasn't rushing into the Hive. He wasn't droning up too heavily either. He did go for a safety +1 range to be able to support his Roach Ravager. And of course, he was able to react in time to the all-in as ByuN just pulled the boys. He just pulled the boys on 2 bases. GG. GG, well played. SHIN did survive. And now we're getting to game number 2. Let's go. Jumping into game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Persephone. Persephone. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify. Oh, down to the series. We'll see if we bounce back. It is ByuN. Oh, opening up. No. Hello. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Zerg player. The Blue Zerg player himself representing Weibo Gaming WBG. It is SHIN. When I saw the SCV moving down, I thought it was going to get the depot in the low grounds. When he left the natural, it's like, oh, that's not a depot. That's not a depot. That's 2-Rax Reaper. 2-Rax Reaper, we have 1. We have 2 SCVs being sent out across the map. The Raxes are on the way. ByuN, he's committing. And we'll see if SHIN can get a read on this or once again, pull first. Okay. 2 games in a row. SHIN, he's going for a gasless opener. This means earlier Queen production. And this means that SHIN, he will have the tools to defend. Will have the tools. Bearing in mind, when you go for this build, when you go for this gasless style, it means that your gases are late. That is true, but it also means that your spawning pool is early, which means your queen is early, your lings are early as well, and the overlord is poised to confirm, poised to scout. Yeah, it's very common to check outside of your natural with your second overlord. The first one moves out across the map. The second one does fan out outside of the main, and the overlord will confirm everything. Pull is done. No link production though. Ooh. Yeah, no link production. That is on Shin. Shin, despite going pool first, he does make the queen. He chose to drone. He chose not to get lings. He chose to get an earlier gas geyser. And now he realizes what's been happening. So, link production is delayed. More so than usual. More so than it should be, I should say, with this build. But he's going into a faster roach one because of the faster pool. Shin does dance here with the units. He shouldn't be able to deny this bunker. Bunker is going to get up and running. Bunker will complete, but what's important here is the roach counterattack. That's what Shin is kind of building up towards. Getting a second gas geyser. Roaches are on the way. And we'll see if Shin can break out. I believe Shin should lose the hatchery, but he's going to try to fight for it. Ooh, gets a marine. Gets one, gets two. Gets two marines. He's going to try to counter production, and he will. Very nice moves here by Shin. He gets past the bunker. Again, the hatchery will fall. We have attempted no shot. Because of 3 racks, this is an all-in. Like, this is not just a proxy, this is an all-in. Shin, he does get eyes on the add-on. Base goes down. Also, este diva. Ay, ay, ay. Marauder will help with this, so for the most part, Shin, he should shut this down. Here come the Wiles. Here come the Wiles. Oof. Gets another Marine. Really nice target firing. We'll lose a roach or two, but he shuts it down completely here. He's turning back the Marines, killing the SCVs. I mean, the Marauders still make this terrifying, especially with concussive shell. That means that ByuN can catch out some of these stray roaches. So Shin has to be very careful here. And he will lose one roach. Lings are coming to reinforce. It's a handful of Marines. Yeah, Marines are going down. Dives on top of the Marauders. Will lose the Ravager, but he gets both Marauders, and he will completely shut this down. GG gets called, and Shin will take a 2-0 lead in the series. Whew, GG. Take that to a lead here. Again, a very all-in build here by ByuN, going for a proxy 3 racks, not a proxy 2 racks, very committed, and Shin, thankfully, went pool first. He went for a pool first opener, so at the beginning of the game, the builds did align in favor of Shin. With a pool first, that means earlier queen, earlier lings, which he didn't really make use of too many early lings, but he did have the earlier roach warren, so earlier roach production. When it came to the execution of the defense, it was really impressive to see him focus on the Marines, rush past the bunker, catch reinforcements as well, and eventually break out. It's a very impressive defense there. And again, just really fortunate for Shin that he happened to be going pool first, both game 1 and game 2. And that leads into game number 3. We're going to be loading into Ultra Love. Let's go. Let us go. Loading into Ultra Love here, the 3rd game, potentially the final game of the series, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. The pressure is on. He's down 0-2. Can he bounce back? Can he make a series out of this? Representing Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is Shin. He's 1 game away from claiming this. Meanwhile, ByuN opening up 2-Rax Reaper. So once again, he's setting up on the high ground, 2-Rax Reaper out of ByuN. Shin, once again, going pool first. So same build every game out of SHIN, which is what we expect. SHIN, he is known for going for roaches into, I mean, I keep saying roaches into Ultra Tech, but because of how Game 1 and Game 2 have transpired, like, he's never gotten there. It's been ByuN being hyper aggressive and not really allowing SHIN to get to his final form, which of course is by design. And we're expecting something similar here, with SHIN opening up Roach and with ByuN being hyper aggressive, potentially 2-base all in again. Also, my apologies, I assume this is going to be 2 ranks Reaper. It's a ranks expand, and it's going to be the low ground production. Oh boy. Okay, this is risky. When SHIN sees this, and he will see this with the first Overlord, SHIN will have the option to all in. So it's going to be a bit of a brutal start here. Especially because ByuN, no scouting. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout. Now, ByuN can assume it's going to be pool first. True. It's been pool first every game so far, so we can just assume that's happening again. But ByuN has no confirmation. Now, the reason why SHIN has the option to go for an all-in as SHIN goes up the ramp and he will confirm the production is because unlike a standard game, when you go for a standard game, your racks is in the main base, your factory is in the main, and what this means is that if an all-in hits your natural, as the defending Terran player, you can pull the boys away. You can evacuate the natural, you can lift your buildings, and you can defend at the ramp with a bunker. Unfortunately, here, with this specific setup, yep, Roach 1's on the way. With this specific setup, you don't have that option because your production is also at the natural, so you are committed to protecting your natural base, whereas in a standard game, you wouldn't be. In a standard game, you just give it up. You just give it up and defend your main. Here, he doesn't have the option. So this is going to be a worse position for ByuN if SHIN were to go for an all-in. Overlord scouts, Roach 1 gets thrown down, SHIN, he's going for a Roach push. Which is the correct call, right? It's the correct call to make because the production is so exposed. The reason why ByuN would go for this is that this is greedier, right? This is a very greedy build from ByuN. No SCV scouts, so extra mining from the Terran player. No Reaper, so preserve gas to go for a more efficient follow-up here, rushing into a third CC. This is hyper greed out of ByuN. Oh, God. There's so much greed, and there's zero scouting information. He sees nothing. ByuN, he sees nothing, and here comes the all-in. Roaches are rallying across the map. We're going into burrow as well, so basically SHIN, he's gonna have like a blink micro with his units. Whenever a roach gets low, he can just burrow and save it. Oh boy. Now, to be fair, behind this he pulls out a gas and he's droning. I would have assumed he would have just pulled out a gas and made lings and just gone for a ling flood follow-up. So SHIN, he's not too dedicated. This is now going to be pressure, but yeah, just I mean, there is nothing to defend. we spoke about the green. GG gets called, and with that, SHIN will take the series 3-0. God damn it, ByuN. GG, well played. Once again, everything just lined up. But I say everything lined up, of course. SHIN, he made the decision after seeing the build of choice, right? Like, just a really greedy build out of ByuN. And because SHIN went pool first, he had the option to go for an earlier Roach Warren. And ByuN just never scouted. Zero scouting, zero information. GG. SHIN will take the 3-0. ByuN is out of LiuLi Cup. Whew. Ay. Really fast series. I mean, game 1 was long, true. Game 1 was like a very long it was like a 20-minute two-base all-in out of ByuN. But GG, well played. With that, SHIN, he will take the 3-0, and we have our first half wrapped up. Creator takes down Percival, SHIN takes down ByuN, and we have Creator versus SHIN in the semifinals of LiuLi Cup number 46. And we are here to determine who else will join them in the semifinals. We still have 2 series left. We have Rogue versus Hero in a best of 5, and we have a Classic versus Clem also in a best of 5. Oh. Vámonos. Completely missed that. Did ByuN only have Hellions? He had 2 Hellions. He had 2 Hellions and 2 Marines. He had no bunker. If you missed out on the build, he went for the low ground at Racks and Factory. We were alluding to what was about to happen from the beginning, because we were saying that specifically with this build against Roach-based play, you're even worse off just because all your production is at the natural as opposed to in the main base, so you cannot make a defense, or you're forced to try to hold on to your natural, and there's so much more on the line there. And yeah, GG, well played. But with that, we are going to be going on a break. With that, we're going to be going on a break, and when we come back, we will have the second half of the broadcast. We'll be live with Rogue and Hero. So we'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. Gonna make sure the bunnies are okay. We can see them, to be fair, but I'm gonna go and turn on the power bank to make sure the camera stays online. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon.